What is going on, guys? I am the BA Tutor, and on this channel I talk all things in the world of the business analyst. And today I'm going to be going through a general overview of how to become a business analyst in 2021. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe because it does help me out a lot when you guys do so. And if you guys are of course interested, I do have some courses, I do have some trainings for you guys that are interested in becoming business analysts. That is all going to be in the description below. But today I'm really going to break it down for you guys. It's a new year. Let's talk about what this BA role has become and how do we tackle even trying to become a BA in the year 2021 and moving forward. So let's get into it. Okay, here we go. So how to become a BA in 2021? Well, let me start by saying this. Is it specific to the year? No, not really. But has the role kind of changed from what it was before to now? A little bit. Generally, it's still the same role, but considering we've, been going through a global pandemic and pretty much everything and everyone in the world has had to change and adjust, the same thing goes for the BA role itself. So I'll point out those changes, but they are, a bit minute, if you will. They're not overarching. And so generally the role is still the same, but it's important to be able to, of course, adapt and know what these changes are. Okay. But on a general level, let's talk about how to become a BA in 2021. There's really 3 steps. Okay. And let's talk about the first step, obviously, and that's to understand the BA role. But there is a little bit more into that, which I'll talk about right now. So again, step number 1, understand the BA role. But again, this, as I mentioned, isn't just about, knowing what a BA is and what a BA does. Duh, you need to know that. If that's something you want to become, that is the research you're going to have to do. By the way, got plenty of free videos for you guys to check out. In my recent videos, I talk about all that stuff, and I've got even courses. Links are going to be in the description from beginners for advanced courses. So all of that is available for you guys training as well. So understanding what a BA does is very important, but also all the responsibilities that a BA has, everything that it entails. So how I kind of, remember in my brain, everything that, on a high level is encompassed by what a BA does is kind of by asking myself those 5 whys. So I think, people remember these 5 whys, which is what? Who, what, where, when, why. Remember these questions you'd remember as a kid. And so you just got to ask these questions to yourself as a business analyst, right? And to find out what a business analyst is all about, right? Who, what, where, when, and why. Now, this is not in order of how you should ask it, but you can derive the questions here. So let's start with, what is a BA, right? A liaison between the business stakeholders and the developers, right? Somebody who writes requirements. Again, got plenty of videos on this that I can help you guys go through that are going to be available for you guys. But again, what is a BA? But then the next question, right? Where does a BA fit in the process, right? Where does a BA fit between developers, between QA, quality analyst, a project manager? Where does a BA fit in all that? You have to understand that, right? Similarly, when do BAs play their role? So when is it important for a BA to do what they do, which is write requirements, right? Obviously, that's going to be right before development, right? Because developers were going to need your requirements to be able to do their coding. But then this is obviously after a project has, kicked off and you need to gather requirements. So you have to understand when that happens, okay? Why are BAs important, right? So you look at it and you're like, why do we even need BAs? Why can't the business stakeholders just tell the developers what to code, right? Like, you can just ask yourself all these questions, but asking these questions is going to make you remember the role itself, understand the role itself on a higher level, okay? And then finally, who could be, who does a BA interact with, right? Project managers, quality analysts, developers, business stakeholders, like all of these different parties. But that's the important thing to keep in mind here is these questions are to help you really understand the role itself, folks, because again, there's too many people that I know that try to become business analysts and all they know is what a BA is and what they do. They don't know what does a BA interact with, where does a BA fit in the process, why are BAs important. They don't ask these questions. These are important questions, and I'm not saying these are all of them. These are just to get your brain thinking and starting with the questions itself. But this part is important because you have to go a level deeper. You can't just sit at the surface. You have to go a level deeper, and that is really going to help you come time for interviews and when you're applying for roles, because they will see that you have a deeper level understanding of the role itself and kind of how the role plays a part in the bigger picture of things. Okay, so that was step number 1, understand the BA role. Step number 2 is going to be another understand, but this time we are going to understand the gap you have. Okay? Now don't take it offensive. I'm not saying you guys all have gaps. I'm just saying whatever gap we have to understand. What do I mean by this? Well, here's the thing. If you are trying to become a business analyst, there are going to be steps you need to take. So everybody is going to be at different points of, where they are in this process. All right. So whether your gap is, I don't have experience as a business analyst, whether your gap is, I don't have a degree to apply to be a business analyst, whatever your gap is, figure out that gap and address it. Right. So like I mentioned, if you have a lack of experience, is it possible for you to go ahead and, do some internships? Is it possible for you to get some certifications, do some training that way? But again, getting experience is most likely obviously going to entail some of, if not all of those things. All right. Again, like I mentioned, do you have a degree? Maybe you have a degree in a completely unrelated field and you can do a master's in, information technology or business management or something like along those lines, which might be closer to what a business analyst role would entail. So whatever these things are, and this could be training, this could be whatever, right? There's the best way to do this, honestly, is to go on any job requirements for a business analyst role and see what they're looking for. They're always going to specify, right? They're going to say X amount of years of experience. They need you to be proficient in these things. So if you're not proficient in, all the Microsoft applications, Office, Word, Excel, Visio, get those skills cleaned up, get those skills acquired, get and fill those gaps necessary. Okay? Fill that gap. So look up all of the things that you do not have and fill those gaps. Again, if possible. If you can't do it, then again, it's going to be difficult, obviously, to navigate around it, but there should be a way. And so, like I said, whether that's experience, whether that's degree, whether that's training, and that would entail skills here. Whatever the case may be, understand the gap you have. And I forgot to put the second part here, and address it. Okay, so understand the gap you have, address it. All right, let's move on to step number 3. And by the way, I do have trainings that you guys can go ahead and check out, which can help you, apply here if you do have the gap in not knowing what the role is, all of those things. So let's go back and recap here. We said understand the BA role is step number 1. You have to understand everything about the role. Again, I've got trainings on that. And there's plenty of free videos to understand the gap you have and address it. So whether you don't have the certain skills, experience, degrees, address those gaps. And then finally, number 3, simple enough, you have to apply it. So apply the knowledge into a position. So this is where, once you have understood everything, once you've addressed your gaps, now it's time to apply, literally and figuratively, literally in the way of applying for a position, but figuratively in the way of applying those skills into the position. So when you are going for a position, this is where I told you maybe this is specific to, the new world we're living in. There might be virtual interviews. You have to brush up on those virtual interview skills, whether it's a virtual position itself. That's going to be important. But resume, fixing and applying your resume, being able to apply to the right positions, being able to understand what they're looking for, what I have. So that is going to be vital. You're gonna need to apply all of those things you have here, and that's going to help you apply it into a position itself. So keep in mind, in 3 simple steps, you will be able to essentially go from not knowing what to do at all you know is I want to be a BA, to now you're like, okay, I've understood the role, I've addressed my gaps, and now I'm going to go ahead and apply those things and apply for a role. And at that point, you do have a path here of becoming a business analyst. Now, again, applying it once is not going to be just enough. You have to apply to multiple roles, multiple positions, multiple companies, but it's all about a process here, okay? This is more of a high level. This is to get you thinking, but there is obviously more that goes into it. But again, understand the role, understand your gaps, apply it, understand the new world we're living in. It's going to be important for you to be able to be flexible, knowing, okay, the industry is trending towards agile. I got to know more agile. The industry is requiring me to be able to know more applications. I got to know what those applications are. All of the things, and here's another tip for you guys. When you see the specifications on a job requirements for a business analyst, when they specify all those things, make sure you tailor your resume to what is on the job requirements. I'm not saying to obviously, copy or lie about anything. No, you have to be 100% honest. But what I am saying is tailor your resume to where it's specific to that company. And you could end up having 10 resumes because you're applying to 10 different companies, but it's going to give you a better shot. Okay? So keep that in mind. These are the little things you have to account for, but that is essentially how you can go from really, ground zero, not knowing anything, to now you're applying for multiple positions, multiple companies for a business analyst role. So hopefully that helped you out. If it did, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. As always, thanks for watching.